Yo, 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 you're listening to WNYO 88.9 FM, your station for new music now. And I told you guys earlier that we would have a special guest interview, phone interview from the homie Oveous. He came up to Oswego last week, I think it was Thursday, did some spoken word for us. So now we're probably going to talk to him a little bit about his music. And actually, we got him on the line right now, so let me get him on real quick. Hold on 1 second. Hey, Oveous, you there, man?
I'm right here, man.
What's up, man?
I'm chilling, man. It's good to hear your voice, man.
Yeah, man. Good to hear you, man. First of all, thanks for calling in. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Also, thanks for coming up last week. I mean, what did you think about, the Oswego crowd up here, man?
I loved it, man. It was great, man. It was a great show, man. I'm actually upset that the recording, I tried to record it, as you remember, on my iPhone,
right.
with using the audio thing, and I thought that it would work once I synced it to my MacBook, and it didn't work, so I don't have that audio from that night. I don't know if somebody recorded it, the whole thing, but if somebody recorded it, I would love to have a copy of it, because I had a blast that night. I had a really good time last week.
Yeah, man, it was a great turnout. A lot of people came out. A lot of people showed some love. I know a lot of people who weren't really aware of who you were. Matter of fact, we can start the interview by, you giving us a little bit of who you are for those who don't know who you are, the listeners, and we'll go from there.
Cool, yeah, man. Sorry, I'm just updating my Twitter right now as we talk because I want to show people the link, the .org link. So
yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah. Make sure I put it up. Here's the link. Bow. There we go. I just want to make sure people had that there. But yeah, about me, man. For people that missed the show, I mean, obviously, I told you remember I told my life story through those poems and whatnot. So all them joints I did, but. Basically, I'm just a dude, who was raised in New York City. I had a younger brother, and before he passed away, I learned a lot about writing and inspiration and about being an artist from him. He was my younger brother, but his wisdom definitely surpassed mine in many ways. So when my brother passed away, that was in 2002, October 2002. So we're about to have that. That date's about to approach soon, October 8th. My brother passed, but his birthday was recently as well, on the 12th of September. So a lot of celebrating, bittersweet, but it's all gifts. Life is all about gifts. So he has given me a gift, which was the gift of spitting. I mean, I can't even explain it better than that. When he passed away, I went to his apartment to clean the place out, and I found his rhyme book, and I would call them the Zinc Bibles. So I read through them, and I just after that I just changed, man. I don't know, it wasn't even I couldn't even control it. I just found myself just writing all the time on the train, and next thing you know, I'm taking my poems to the Nuyorican. I got my first time I ever stepped on stage there, I got a standing ovation. Then I went to Apollo. I just wanted to spit wherever I could, you know what I mean? I just had this feeling that I needed to voice myself. And I would I would try to find any stage that would get me, a good amount of people to listen to me. So I was looking for just audiences. So yeah, man, so here we are, man. Fast forward 8 years later, and we still doing it, We're still doing it.
That's what's up. So now you were saying that your brother's death was basically, he gave you that gift to go ahead and use your gift of spoken word. I mean, do you feel like this is your gift back in return to him to go ahead and release all this energy you have, all the stories most of your spoken word deals with your family. Am I correct?
Yeah. Exactly. Even my songs too. I write a lot of songs about just relationships, all kinds of relationships. You know what I mean? Like love and love for your family, your friends, just things that happen in life. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I definitely, I definitely try to bring that to all my work, and I definitely had him as an inspiration is clear. I mean, it's completely, it's very clear to me that he passed that on to me.
Now you've been doing music before you actually started spoken word. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct, man. I actually have an old demo. Me and my brother did a demo when we were in high school, man. He was 13, I was 17, and we were just two kids trying to do our thing. And at that time, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Redman, a bunch of old, the '90s era hip hop was really like heavy on the radio. Guru, Gangstar, so we was listening to all that, and we just was really inspired by it. So we wanted to just take a stab at the art form.
Now you stopped. You stopped for a little while, right? Though I mean, you were doing music, then you stopped for a little while. But what can you explain to me, like why you decided to, put the music into the back? Then you obviously you went to school, got your degrees.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then you got a job. So what really made you quit? And then why did you decide, okay, that music was right for you again?
Well, the funny thing is that, I'll say this. I mean, definitely I stopped because I wanted to I wanted to play it safe, you know what I mean? And I wanted to have an education to fall back on. That's what I've learned growing up, you know what I mean? And I always thought to myself, like, well, I love education. I think being smart is awesome. You know what I mean? I love, you know what I mean? I love being well-read. I love all the research I've done in college, and I love everything that I've learned. I love the academic side of me. It's actually, as an artist, it's made me more creative than the average Joe, so than the average cat, so, I mean, for me, education was mad important. It was very important. So I just didn't want to risk it. I was like, man, like I'm not gonna get no record deal. I'm in Rhode Island in college. Like you know what I mean? Like this ain't gonna happen. Like I don't know anybody in the music industry, so I left it alone. My brother, he kept doing it. He kept writing. He was just like, nah, man, this is me. So he kept doing it, and he just wrote like hundreds and hundreds of pages in these books and these what I was saying before, in the Zinc Bibles. So I gave it up for like 10 years, man. I hadn't written anything. I never even written a poem ever. All I've written up to that point, when I stopped, up until that point when I stopped, all I had written was raps. I'd never written like a poem, not to say that rap isn't poetry, because it is, but it's a different structure. It's a different kind of poem, just for the listeners, So yeah, so I came back to it after my brother passed away, and I wanted to do music again, but I didn't. I was actually writing poems. I was actually writing raps that I was reciting as poems. So everybody started to acknowledge me as a spoken word artist. Well, really, I was just a rapper who didn't have beats. So I went on stage at open mics with no beats, just spitting my raps as if they were poems. And then slowly but surely, I got off doing that whole rhyme scheme, because I can't, every poem I write, you can't just be rhyming through the whole thing. So I started to change the structure, the content got stronger, and I just was really interested in like slamming, like the whole competitive aspect of performance poetry. It was just really fun to me, and I'm a very competitive dude, so I just thought it was good. I just thought it was a lot of fun. It was great, but I did that for several years, and then now I had to come back to music because I got sidetracked by the whole slam poetry scene, and I fell in love with it, and I still love it, and I still perform poems, but I got sidetracked from what I feel my mission really is in life, and to me is to write music and to produce and create music. So, that's what I'm doing now.
Okay, man. So I think this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna actually play one of your songs so people can actually hear, what your passion is. Actually, a lot of people heard you spoken word again last week, but you just spoke about how rap is a form of poetry. So I'm gonna play. Let's see, from your first album. Correct me if I'm wrong. Future Intentions, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
This is Tongue and Heart. You want to kind of introduce it before I throw it on you?
Well, that's dope that you're gonna play first, because that's actually one of my favorite songs from that first album, and I'm actually I've been working on it all day today. Actually, been working on. I produced a new an official version, an official track for that joint, because right now what you're gonna hear is the version I spit over Kanye's beat. But yeah, man, I love this joint because it's very poetic, but it's rap, and it's just very raw and very real, and it comes from my heart. So, you know, tongue in my heart, man, and I think it's a great showing of like what you could do with lyricism. So I appreciate that, man.
No problem. Well, here it is, Tongue in the Heart by Oveous Maximus from his first album, Future Intentions. Take a listen, and we'll come back to him later on.